Hello and welcome to episode 70 of the Graceful Tangle podcast. Thank you so much for being here today. I know I'm going to say this every single time we hit a multiple of 10 and probably even a multiple of 5, but I cannot believe we're at episode 70. It's so exciting. We are 30 away from 100, which is crazy. So hopefully if all goes according to plan, that's 30 weeks. Yeah, that's amazing. 70 episodes. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do that. I want to continue to use this platform as a way to connect with you all, and I have lots of fun videos lined up, so please click that subscribe button and then don't forget to hit that notification bell right next to it so that you don't miss out on any future videos. Okay, I have quite a bit to talk about today. I still don't have any finished objects, which is kind of a bummer, but that's totally okay. I have lots of exciting whips. Before we hop into that, be sure to check out all of the links in the description box below because there are so many things to check out in that area. So first off, the show notes will be linked down there, as well as the link to sign up for my newsletter if you want to get just, basic newsletters. I am hoping to get that system really up and running here soon, but I'm also using that platform as a way to send out tester calls. So if you want to be a test knitter or test crocheter for me and my future patterns, don't forget to sign up. No spam, of course, ever. It's just a way for me to further communicate with you, which is always super duper exciting. And then there'll also be links down there for all of my other social media platforms. So again, be sure to check that area out. One last thing. YouTube comments have been a frustrating issue from the get-go for me and this channel. I do not understand what's going on with them. I know sometimes they're off and sometimes they're on, and it's super frustrating for everyone involved. Trust me. But you can always message me using my email address. So that's thegracefultangle@gmail.com. It is linked down below. If you have any questions or anything that you just want to share with me, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I check that email every day. I try to reply as soon as I can. So just use that way to connect with me if need be. I want to, again, I want to connect with you guys as much as possible, but comments are obviously hit or miss, unfortunately. So with all of that out of the way, I think we should go ahead and hop into some works in progress because there's so many things to talk about today. Alrighty, lots and lots of things to share, so let's just go ahead and hop on into it. My first work in progress is something that I have been working on for quite a while now. These socks have been pretty slow going, but that's totally okay. I kind of thought they would be from the get-go, honestly. It's just a nice pair of vanilla socks to have on hand, but at the same time, they aren't super travel friendly because I am holding 2 strands of yarn together, so I just work on them when I can. But these are my DK Success socks. This is a free pattern on in my Ravelry shops, on my blog, and then you can also find it on Etsy. So I have finished the first sock, finally. And here's what it looks like. So I am using 1 strand of Knit Picks Stroll Tonal in the colorway Pearlescent, and then 1 strand of Knit Picks Aloft in 3 different colors. So I'm using Iceberg for this minty section, Kenai for this teal section, and then this gray is Corbin, I believe. And then again, the Pearlescent tonal is held throughout the entire sock, so that's what gives it that marled effect. I am loving how these are turning out, and they are so stinking cozy. Oh my goodness. We are so close to the time of year where I can just live in hand-knit socks and leggings and t-shirts, and I seriously cannot wait for that season. And I cannot wait to wear these socks all the time. I'm so excited, but we're not quite there yet. It is too hot for these socks right now, but I have one completely finished, and then I am just working on my second one, which is right here. I have finished the first color section, which again is the Iceberg mohair color. So it is complete. I believe I need to go back and count my rows to make sure because it's been a little while since I worked on this sock, but I believe I'm ready to start the teal section, which is super exciting. So hopefully I will make some progress on this week. I would really love to get these socks done this week, but we'll see. Like I said, I'm working on it a lot right now, but I'm definitely hoping to get these done sooner rather than later because they are so beautiful and I love them so much. So also, I'm using these needles, which are new to me. These are the Knit Picks Radiant Wood needles, size 1.5, 2.5 millimeter, which is what I use for my DK weight socks typically. And I love them. It's my first time using them. Really love using them. So I would definitely recommend those for sure if you would like to try out some wooden needles. So that is my first, I'm going to go ahead and take that off the blocker. It's my first work in progress. Let's see, what else am I working on? Next up, let's talk about my Like a Cloud cardigan. So I mentioned last week how my goal was to do one full repeat a day, which is 2 ridges, if you're familiar with this pattern. So one repeat is, I believe, 8 rows, and then those 8 rows make up 2 of these little ridges. So here's one ridge, and here's the second ridge, and that is one full repeat. So I would love to do a repeat a day until the cardigan is complete. However, that did not quite happen this week. This week has been absolutely crazy. I will get into that in the life update and devotion section, but for now, just know that it's crazy. And I did not have the time or energy or brain space to even work on this simple of a project. Mainly time was the biggest issue, honestly. I wanted to, sleep was more important. So anyway, I did make a little bit of progress. Here is the marker. I believe this is where I was last week when I recorded. So I think I did 3 repeats. Let's see. Well, according to this, I did like 2.5, which doesn't make sense. So I think maybe I marked it semi-inaccurately. I don't know. I really don't remember. But all in all, I think I did a repeat Monday and Tuesday, and then I haven't worked on it since then. And it is currently Sunday. No, it's not August anymore. It is September. Sunday, September 12th is today's date. So, yeah, I have not worked on this in a few days, but I am so excited to get back to it. I think this week is going to be a little bit smoother. I think I'm going to have the time to be able to work on this. I still want to complete my goal of accomplish my goal of completing this sweater this month. I can't talk. I can't talk. Okay, anyway. I love it though. I love it so, so much. So just a little quick recap. This is the Like a Cloud sweater by Homie Locatelli. I'm using Sorella yarn on their mohair and fingering weight bases. These colors are from their Cozy collection, which is the fall collection that they released last year. And then I am holding the green fingering, which I believe is called On the Trail or something along those lines. I'm really not 100% sure, but it's something along that name. And then the pink is called Knitflix. I actually have a skein of the Knitflix on this fingering weight base to make socks in the future, so I'm really excited about that. I think I'm going to try to do a sock design with it, so definitely be on the lookout for that project, because I want to get started on those. I just, again, haven't had the time quite yet. I have so many designs in my mind. So, anyway, here's a progress update, though. Not much to show, but hopefully a lot more next week. My plan right now, I'm gonna completely finish. So I have 3 skeins. I started out with 3 skeins each of the fingering and the mohair. I think going by Hohi's exact yardage, I think I needed 4 skeins of each. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's right. But I decided to just get 3 because of the way just everything worked out. 3 was better, and it's totally gonna be enough. Like I knew it wouldn't be when I ordered it. And these are my second skeins of each, I believe. Although now I cannot see the other 2 on my shelf. Huh. I don't know where they are. I'm looking at my own shelves and I don't see the other 2 skeins of this yarn. I'm going to need to locate those before I see them. I thought y'all love when I just go off on a huge tangent like that. I see them though. Mohair and being like, okay, we're good. Had a panic attack. I thought this was all I had left for a second there. Anyway. These are my second skeins. So obviously they are almost gone, but not quite. My plan right now is to completely finish these 2. And then I will kind of see where I am after that. I want it to be as long as possible, but I would also really, really love to have enough left over to knit a pair of cozy socks with the leftovers. So we will see what happens. But as of right now, I'm going to focus on finishing these 2 and then figuring out how long it is after that. But yeah, really, really loving this project. I can't wait to have the time to work on it very, very soon. Yeah, like seriously. Maybe I'll have some time this afternoon. I miss it so much. I love working on this project. Okay, next up, let's see. I think I have one more work in progress that isn't a design, and they are my September socks. So each month over the course of this year, I am attempting to knit a pair of socks that just somehow correlates to that month, whether it be the yarn reminds me of it, or, you know, the pattern name, the type of sock pattern, you know, whatever the case may be, just trying to use a different designer's sock pattern and knit a pair of socks that somehow corresponds to that month. So this month I am knitting the Mermaid Tail socks, which is a pattern by Callie of Needles and Life. I recently did a blog post collaboration with her, and I have loved this pattern from the get-go, and I'm super excited to be able to knit it finally. So here is my progress so far. I don't think I had these started last week. I am using Knit Picks Gloss Fingering in the colorway Robot, I believe is the correct colorway name. I don't have the label in this bag, but I'm pretty sure that's right. And I am obsessed with this texture. I love it so much. It's such a simple design, but it's just so beautiful. And then this yarn just kind of encapsulates the stitch pattern and the stitch definition so beautifully. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this. Don't have much to share, obviously. This is just the first sock. But yeah, I'm hoping to get the first one done this week, and then I'll move on to the next one for the rest of the month. But yeah, that's about it for these socks. I am knitting the smallest size, if you're curious. She calls for a 3x1 rib, which is a knit 3 purl 1. No, actually, I take that back. Knit 2 purl 1. So knit 2 purl 1. And so because of that, the stitch calculation had to be a multiple of 3. And then you increase to the, standard 56, 64, 72 stitch count after that. If I was going to knit a second pair of these socks, which I do think I will in the future, I think I might just kind of omit that idea and just do a knit 1 purl 1 or something just for simplicity's sake. But I mean, it's totally not hard to increase a stitch at all, but I don't know. Actually, in my case, I decreased a stitch. But anyway, I guess just keep that in mind. But yeah, I love it so much. Cannot wait to have these socks finished. They're just so beautiful. And very fun to work on, I might add. So definitely check out that pattern if you haven't already. Is that... Oh no, I have one more work in progress. I'm so excited about this one. So, my lovely maker friend, Kay, of Kay Crochets, I look up to her in so many ways. And I'm just so grateful for her support and encouragement. I'm just so grateful for this community. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. But she recently released a new pattern called the Tundra Top. I have had my eyes on it from the moment I first saw the design. I am subscribed to her tester newsletter list, and so I was given the opportunity to test the pattern, but I just didn't have the time. I didn't have the time to do so at the time. And then I also didn't have the yarn on hand either. So it just didn't work out for me to test this pattern, which is totally okay. I am grateful that I am learning, how to say no in times like that. So anyway, that being said, I still wanted to make it. I just knew that testing wasn't the right thing to do at the time. However, as soon as the pattern was released, I got it. I got the yarn, and I am now making it, and I love it so much. So I'm actually changing quite a bit about this design. Not much, like I'm keeping the, overall gist of the pattern the same, but I just wanted to kind of change it in such a way to suit my body the best and suit my personal style the best. So I thought I would kind of walk through those changes with you. Let me see if I can find a picture of what okay. So here is the actual pattern, and here's what it looks like on Kay. So as you can see, it has kind of 3/4 length sleeves, like they just go past her elbow, and then this mock turtleneck right here, and then overall it's a little bit more slim fitting that I would typically go for. Now, I really love that fit for certain things. Like if I'm going to wear it over, like a jumpsuit or something along those lines that it is kind of slim fitting under it, then I would, it would work really well to have a shirt like this over it. And I think that's what Kay did. Like she put it over a dress, which I think is so cute. But I actually really want to pair this sweater with a pair of jeans. And so for that, I wanted to do something just a little bit different, but keep the same overall style of the pattern the same. So what I am doing, she included instructions on how to omit the mock turtleneck, and that is what I did. So I didn't do that. I just went straight into the yoke. And then for the yoke, I actually went up a couple sizes. So according to the measurements in the pattern, I would fit the extra small size, which is my typical size for most patterns. However, I decided to go up to I don't even know. I don't remember what size actually. I think it went like all the way up to a medium, maybe. Let's see here. I think I am doing a medium. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's right. Which basically all that means is I kept increasing. Instead of stopping and just crocheting until it reached the correct length, I just increased until it reached the correct length. And I'm really glad that I did that because it gives me a little bit more room. It's super cozy and a little more oversized than how it was originally designed. But like I said, I prefer that look overall. Another modification that I made, so and this was actually one that I had to rip out and fix. So, again, like most patterns, if it's a knit pattern, you cast on stitches. If it's a crochet pattern, you chain stitches for the underarm to give you a little bit of extra room on the side for the body. Typically, you'd always do that, and she called for that in this pattern, and I did it. However, I tried it on and decided to actually rip back the body and omit those chain stitches. So now I didn't chain any under the arms. I just, kind of went around and skipped the stitches for the sleeve as usual. And it's perfect now. So, I'm not entirely sure what that means. I could have not kept increasing because I pretty much just, my stitch count is basically the same as the extra small now. But I am really glad that I didn't because where I really wanted the extra ease was in the bust area to just give it a little bit more room and not be as tight and form-fitting. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm tuning up a few things, but again, the overall gist of the pattern is the same. So really, really excited about this project. It has been so much fun and so quick to work on. I made a really fun Instagram reel for the yoke portion, which was so much fun to do. So yeah, check out my Instagram page if you haven't already because that was so fun. So anyway, and then the yarn that I am using is Crochet Tough Puff in the colorway Snickerdoodle. This is 44 yards per 100 grams, so it is a super bulky yarn. You'd be surprised how far one skein of bulky yarn will go, though. I'm not gonna lie, it does a lot. It does a lot with just 44 yards. And then I'm using this hook that I absolutely love. I hope it's in here. Yes, it is. Okay, good. So I'm using a size 12mm hook. This is one of the Clover ones. It's completely amazing. Guys, I love these hooks so much. I would really, really love to have like an entire set one day. But my collection is slowly but surely growing. So I love this hook so much. It's making the process that much more enjoyable. So anyway, love this color. It's going to look super cute with jeans. I'm actually wearing some jeans right now with this shirt that are like this kind of light denim color. And I think it's going to look so cute. And these are high-waisted too, so it's going to be amazing. I cannot wait to put this outfit together. But yeah, so that is my last work in progress that isn't a design. Like I said, I'm working on a lot of things. I haven't had time to work on hardly any of them the past few days, which has been really difficult. But this week is going to be a little bit more structured, I think, than this past week was. So yeah, I'm eager to work on these projects. I also just have to mention, this is like my favorite bag on planet Earth. This is my Crochet bag, which is a clothing company that my mom has purchased from multiple times. And I was given this bag for as a Christmas gift like a few years ago now. At least 2 years ago, I think. I love it so much. And it is so my style. It has all my favorite colors. I love it very, very much. It fits a super bulky project very, very well. It's also the perfect bag for like an overnight trip, which, never happens for me in this season. But, a girl can dream, right? A girl can dream of a social life, right? Anyway, moving on, let's talk about some designs. Okay, so first up for designs today, I actually wanted to mention 2 new patterns that have been released this past week. First off, the Bulky Success Socks are live, which is this sock pattern. So these are free in my Ravelry and website shops, but then you can also find them in my Etsy shop as well. Be sure to check it out if you haven't already. The Bulky Way socks are so stick and quick, and I love them so very much. I'm hoping to cast on another pair very soon as I finish those DK Wake socks that I'm working on. But yeah, so be sure to check that out if you haven't. And then also the Striker socks released. So those are the socks that are designed for my brother for his birthday this past July. It's a really special design, so I hope you would give it a little look-see too. Again, you can find that on Ravelry, Etsy, and my website. So many designs on the horizon, and I'm just so pumped for all of them. Designing is definitely my favorite way to show off, just kind of, not show off in an arrogant way, but just kind of my favorite way to let my creativity shine and all of that. So yeah, I'm really, really grateful for that outlet, and I'm so thankful for all of y'all's support. It's absolutely amazing to see. So anyway, definitely be sure to check out those 2 new patterns. And then, let's see, I'm also working on multiple other designs. So I'm going to quickly mention this hat. I think it's grown a bit since the last episode, but I honestly can't remember. This hat, y'all, I don't know what it is about this design. Oh my word. Okay. Here's what the hat currently looks like. So this is a super bulky bauble hat. I am obsessed with this. I love this hat so much. I have been dreaming of creating this design for so stinking long. And it's finally happening. However, of course there's a hiccup because Amy Kate is doing it. There's always a hiccup. So I'm using this yarn. This was some that was given to me, so I can't get more of it. It is Sugar Bush and their Chill base in the colorway Alpine. I love this color so much, but the hat is not big enough yet. It's not long enough. I mean, it's the perfect circumference, but it's just not long enough. And I have this much yarn left, which is like a yard, 2 yards. So I think I'm going to be color blocking it. The only issue, like I have some yarn that I can use to color block, and that's what I'm going to use, but it is a different brand. So I'm going to have to use the Knit Picks Tough Puff yarn because it's the closest thing to this yarn, and I can't get more of this yarn. So that's going to have to work, and I think it will. I think it'll be totally fine. I have some pink, some blue, and some green on hand, and then I think I have some silver somewhere, and that might be what I choose to do. And I'm not 100% sure, but I will figure something out because I really, really love this design. So it's probably going to be put on hold for a little bit until I can figure out all of the logistics behind that and, you know, yardage calculations for color blocking and all of that fun jazz that I didn't expect to have to do. But anyway, I really, really love it, like, so much. The texture is absolutely amazing. I want, like, a whole cardigan in this texture. So you better believe that will be happening one day because it needs to happen so bad. But yeah, so here's a little update on that project. Like I said, I love it so much. It's just the designing part of it is a little bit frustrating. It's not a hard hat to knit either. Like, it is so quick, you guys, and the marbles are so easy. Like, I'm so happy about the marbles. It's just design-wise, it's being difficult and challenging for sure. Okay, well, there's that design. So moving into something that is a little bit more successful, shall we? Okay, crochet socks. You guys. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I crocheted this sock. This is going to be the pair for the pattern and all of that. I'm going to be asking for testers later this week, so stay tuned for that if you want to be a tester for this pattern. These are the crochet socks that I have been working on for quite a while now. They are finally just about ready for testers, which is so exciting. So I am crocheting a second pair. I just kind of made this one to test out the pattern myself a little bit, make sure there wasn't any glaring errors that, you know, I may have missed in pattern writing. And then, of course, testers will be so amazing in that way and alert me of any other modifications that need to be made. But yeah, so here is this sock. I used Knit Picks Hawthorne for this pair. And the colorway is, I can't remember how, it's called Burlingame, I think. I need to look up what that color, like what that word means, because I have no idea, and I live in Alabama, so Birmingham is what I think of. But that's not right. And then I thought, like, maybe it could be I don't know what the word is, a place in the UK is what I thought, maybe, but I'm not sure that's right either. I really don't know. I don't know what this one means, but regardless, it's a gorgeous color. I love it so much. I've had it in my stash for a long time because I wanted to make a pair of socks, but I wasn't sure, you know, if I should do knit or crocheted or what. I did crochet, and it's my first time crocheting with Hawthorne. And I'm obsessed. Like, I'm seriously going to be knitting or crocheting, a pair of socks in, like, every Hawthorne color out there because it was absolutely amazing to work with. So, yeah, definitely stay tuned for that pattern because it is so close to you guys. I have a name picked out and everything. And I debated doing the Crochet Success socks. And unless I still might do that, I'll probably ask testers when the time comes, because I do really like that theme, but at the same time, I wanted to kind of come up with a different line for the crochet version of all of those socks. So, I don't know. Stay tuned for that, I guess. But I love these so, so much, and I'm looking forward to casting on the second one very, very soon. Okay, so there is that design. Next up, let's talk about this project. So this is the crochet cowl that I am doing in partnership with Hobie. This is a Christmas project, actually. It's a Christmas campaign. I've had so much fun participating in it, and my cowl is steadily growing. So this is going to be a 3-color long cowl. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm so excited about it. And this week, if I could untangle this from the yarn, oh my word. So this week I finished the second color. So I am using Hobie Unicorn Solid for this yarn. For this project, not yarn. I will link it down below if you want to check it out. So I'm using the colorway Light Gray for the first color, Seafoam for the second, and then this last hot pink color is called Cerise, and they're all inspired by the Nutcracker. So I'm really excited about this design. It's been so special to work on, and I am just obsessed with the texture. I love the stitch pattern so much. I want to use it in like every design. It's absolutely amazing. Like, I want it to be a sweater too. I love it so much. So anyway, I'm hoping to get the sample and done this week. I think I'll be able to. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So definitely stay tuned for updates on that. I'll be having a separate video all about this design as well, which I'm really excited to share more about. So also, can we just talk about how satisfying that looks? Like, I love it so much. It folds so nicely. I love it when projects are big enough to fold nicely like that. And it's so incredibly satisfying. I love it. Okay, so that is that design. I'm working on like way too many things, you guys. Why am I working on all this stuff at once? I don't know. Who knows anymore? Who knows what I'm thinking? I'm a mess. I'm a mess. Okay, 2 more designs to talk about. Let's talk about this blanket first. So this is the blanket that I am working on with all of the Sheep G's minis. I did another column this week. I'm so glad. This is like the only goal I achieved crochet-wise. Not really. I mean, I did. I wanted to get that sock done. I don't know. I achieved some goals. It just kind of felt like everything went completely the last half of the week. But I did finish. I'm showing the wrong side. Let's show the right side. I did finish the 6th column, which is this one. So I added all of these pretty colors this week. I did 2 squares a day, Monday through Friday. Really happy and proud of myself that I kept up with that. I'm not going to lie. I really am. So yeah, it's now 6 out of 10 columns wide. Oh my goodness, it's getting so big. I love it so much. I just love this design. I can't wait to cover up under this blanket and snuggle, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So here's hoping that column number 7 gets completed this week. I think it will. I'm really on a roll with this design. It only takes me about 15 minutes to do 1 square. However, this week I actually did almost all of the squares during a show that was like 45 minutes, and I did both squares during the show, and then I had like a few minutes left of the show left. So that worked out pretty well. Yeah, it's a really nice way to just kind of take a break after a long day, I found. So yeah, it's a really awesome project, and I'm loving it so very much. Okay, one last design to talk about, and it might very well be the one that I'm most excited about. So this is my brand new cardigan design. I had the goal of finishing the back panel this week, and luckily I did that at the beginning of the week, so it actually got done. And here's what it looks like. So this is the back panel of my new cardigan design. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it so much. So I'm using Knit Picks City Tweed DK in the colorway Arbor Seal. I always say Arbor, and I know that's wrong. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Arbor Seal. And yeah, I love it. I love it so much. So actually, I finished the back panel, and then on Tuesday, I believe, I calculated like how to sort the front panels for all of the sizes, which is something that I delayed when I was grading the pattern for whatever reason. And it turns out that what I thought was right was wrong. So I'm really glad that I looked back over that and figured out why it was wrong and fixed it. So now I am going to be crocheting the front panels on this. So I'm super excited to keep going. I decided to just put it on hold when I finished the back panel because there was other things that I needed to work on. And again, I had accomplished this goal. So that's really important too. You know, if you set yourself a specific goal, I am kind of the type of person who likes to set goals. Then if I accomplish that goal and realize that, you know, I still have time, or the week isn't over, or whatever the case may be, I will 100% try to just finish the project or set a new goal and try to accomplish it. And while that's really cool, and I, you know, obviously we never frown on anybody trying to do that, I also think it's important to work on other things too. So like while I had the opportunity to continue with this project, I decided to put it on hold and work on some other things that have, you know, much more strict deadlines. And so I just, you know, don't neglect other things just to make a lot of progress on one thing, I guess. Always do what's best for you, of course, but for me personally, I'm really happy that I decided to put it on hold. And this week, I'm going to take it back off hold because I'm so excited about it. So if everything goes according to plan, I'm really hoping to finish the body this week. That is my next goal. That's my next idea and plan. So yeah, wish me luck in accomplishing that. But the front panels almost go so fast for me because it's only half. Like for this construction, it's only half the stitches. Of course, you know, you have to do 2. So it ends up taking the same amount of time as the back panel, but I don't know. At that moment in time, it goes by really fast. So I'm excited to keep working on this. And I will have you know, I am so very proud of the fact that my yardage calculations so far are correct. I'm so excited about that, I could scream. Like, I'm beyond excited. I had, for my Trusty Intonation tee, which is on the mannequin back here that you can barely see, I calculated all the yardage, and it turned out that it wasn't completely accurate. It was close, like I was so close, and I don't know what I did to make it off, honestly. But it was a little bit off. And so that's what's frustrating when something like that happens. You know, when testers are working hard, you know, it just stinks. But I'm really hopeful to not have that issue with this design. And so far, for my size at least, everything looks okay. And if my size is correct, I'm confident that yardage-wise, the other size will be correct too. So I'm really excited about that. Wish me luck in finishing it, that they stay correct. Because we'll see. Either way, I'm really excited about that design. And I'm so happy that it is going so very well. So that is all for knit and crochet content. It's been another long episode, I think. I'm just working on a lot of things right now, but they're all exciting, and I'm super hopeful to have a lot of time to work on everything this coming week. So with all of that said and done, let's hop into a devotion and a life update. So, as you all know, I am sure this past weekend was the 20th anniversary of the terrorist attacks that occurred on September 11th, 2001. And it's a hard day for all Americans, I think, whether you can relate directly or not, like personally, whether you may have lost somebody on that day, whatever the case may be, I think it's a hard day for all Americans, and I definitely feel that pain too. And so I thought I would just kind of take some time today to kind of share the personal reflections that I had this year, and just to kind of hopefully encourage and enlighten you all. So first off, let me preface all of this by saying I was not alive when this occurred. I will never be able to relate in ways that those directly involved, as in first responders, people who were in the towers, people who lived in New York, people who lost loved ones that day. I will never be able to relate on that level, and I will also never be able to relate on the level that my parents can and their generation, those who distinctly remember where they were in the exact moment that they heard the awful news. And so I want to make that clear that I am having these reflections based on my generation and my age, and how that kind of affects my outlook on it, I guess. So if there was any other information that you would love to share with me personally on this topic, I am more than happy to receive that information and would be so grateful for it. I want to connect in every way that I possibly can, both with you guys and this this topic and this event because I believe that it makes me just appreciate what I have more and not take any of it for granted. So I just wanted to be sure to say that up front. Now, that being said, the older that I get, I feel the more that I not necessarily can understand, but the more I can relate to maybe my mom's situation at the time or other people that I'm their age now that they were when it happened, if that makes any sense. So for example, when September 11th, 2001 occurred, my mom was pregnant with me. And, just barely, my birthday is 8 months after the event, so, obviously you can do the math. She was just barely pregnant, but I'm a year away from the age that she was when it happened. And so I can relate to that more closely than I can to, say, my dad's situation, just because I'm a young woman now. It's easier for me to relate to that, to relate to that situation. So I feel like while I was not here, I feel like I was so close to being here and so close to experiencing it more personally than I ever can now. And I think that while that is also a blessing because nobody would ever want to experience something like this, I feel like it's also very, very important for me to understand the best that I can so that it is always remembered. Because it's getting closer and closer to the time where it is my generation and future generations' job to make sure that this day is never forgotten and that those people are never forgotten. One of the biggest things that I have learned, or I guess become aware of over my 19 years here on this earth, is that learning how to connect with people when we cannot truly connect with them is one of the hardest things that we can learn, but one of the most important. And it kind of goes back to what I talked about last week, sympathy and empathy, and how the two correlate and how they're different. There are certain things that I will never, ever be able to relate to because I'm not that person and I'm not involved in what they're involved in. But I can still understand them to the best of my ability and honor that and appreciate that, and then take whatever they're going through and apply it to my own life in every way that I can to just better be able to relate to that person, but then also to take what I have learned for the rest of my life. So a couple of little realizations that I have had over just this past memorial of the day, but then also just kind of as I get older, I feel like I recognize more things and recognize the importance of things more and more often and more in a way that impacts me a little bit more, I guess. So I'm going to be looking over at my show notes here because I wrote all this out and I don't want to forget anything. So if you want to look at the show notes, I encourage you to do that because it is all written in words that make a little bit more sense than the words that I'm attempting to say now because it's a difficult topic and an emotional one. So, firstly, as I mentioned earlier, this is something that I just mentioned, but I am a year away from the age my mom was, and for some reason that just kind of struck me today that I'm so close to that, or, on September 11th, that I'm so close to that age, and I feel like it's more important now than ever that I appreciate what I have and not take any of it for granted, and, just relate in every way that I can, as I mentioned earlier. And then the second thing that I realized, and this is something kind of random, I think, that can apply to many, many events, not just the 9/11 attack, but documentaries are important. For so long, I was confused by them. I was confused as to why somebody would make something so awful into something entertaining, like into a movie or something along those lines. And I was so wrong. And I'm so, so glad that I have had that realization and that I know why I was wrong now. The older I get and the more people that I know that are younger than me, the more I realize how important documentaries are. Documentaries are meant to educate us. They are meant to try to show us who are younger and who can never understand what actually happened on this day, what happened, and why it was important, and why it changed the world, and why it changed America. And I think it's so important to, as hard as it is to watch things like that, I think it's important because it's the only way we can connect as close as we can. I have not built up the courage to watch one yet because, again, it's a difficult topic, but I will one day soon, and I will learn a lot. I know I will, and I think that it's really important to do that. So I know that's a really random realization, but I also think it's a really important one. And that kind of, there's documentaries on everything, and they're all educational, but the life event documentaries, like things that have shaped the world, wars, terrorist attacks, things like that, weather-related events like tornadoes and hurricanes, earthquakes, everything. It's really hard to watch something like that, but again, it's really important because it helps us better relate to those people's situations and, again, appreciate what we have and then honor those who are no longer here, or honor those who lost so much that day. Whatever amount they lost, it's still important, and it's important for us to realize that. And then the last thing, and the most important, God is still here, and evil has not won. And on that day, it felt like evil won. I, again, was not here, but I'm certain that that's what it felt like. So I just want to encourage you by saying that evil has not won. God has. And it is so important for us to continually remind ourselves of that and to live like God is winning. Because there are so many awful things happening in the world now. And this is, not the place to talk about them all, I don't think. But it was really important to recognize what's happening and then to take that and to be encouraged by the Word of God and be encouraged that He's always there and He's always fighting for us. So, 9/11 is, of course, a really hard topic. And so many other topics are as well that, again, I can't directly relate to. But I just pray that each one of you realize that no matter how bad things can be, I want to encourage you by saying that God is bigger and He is better and He is ready to receive you with open arms and change you in the most amazing ways. So I hope that was encouraging for you today. Again, if you are brave enough to share whatever story you might have, I am more than happy to hear it and connect in every way that I can and to encourage you in every way that I can. So again, don't hesitate to reach out via email or any other platform. So with that, a little bit of a life update. It has been a crazy week. So crazy. So as most of you, or as I mentioned before, most of you might not know, but as I mentioned before, nanny, I think, might be the appropriate term now. The two sweetest girls. I'm so grateful for this job. However, in the past 4 days, I have babysat in 36 hours. So that is a very long time. And it has not left me much time to do hardly anything else. And it has been a lot. And this week has tested me in many ways. And I've grown so much as a person through it. But yeah, it has been a crazy week. So I'm really hoping that things slow down just a little bit this next week so that I can get back on track with business stuff and school, because it all went just out the window for a few days there. I am not gonna lie. Survival mode was at full gear for sure. And then to add on top of that, the website that my college uses for like online classes and projects and things has been completely down. So that's been fun as well. And stressful, like a whole new level. So yeah, I'm grateful I'm ahead in all my classes, but I was really hoping to get some things done this weekend, and it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. So this next week is gonna be crazy on other levels, but it's totally okay. So it's been a crazy week. It's probably been a crazy week for many of you too, but I pray that you take a breath and just remember all of the good things that God is doing, all of the good things that are happening in your life, however big or small they are all important, and I encourage you to bask in that. And you have an amazing week full of so much making. I am truly hoping that I have quite a bit of time to make this week, because I am eager for it. I love it so much, and I'm excited to have the time to work on all of these projects. So I hope you all have an amazing week. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future exciting videos. And don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions or want to share any projects with me. Anything like that, I'm always happy to hear it. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing week. And until next time, happy making. Bye.